Okay, so I lifted this up a little higher so you can see it's all the way down. First, you can see this goes all the way in here. Keeps this from lifting and fouling, I mean. So anyway, so that's how it works. Alright, so back to the steering. So, front pedal's all the way back. Feed it all the way through. Turn this as far as... Sorry, turn this as far as you want it to be able to turn. And then you're going to loop this through at the front. It's also helpful right at this time before you clamp this down to take this front line, push it forward to make sure that when that's all the way forward you can still reach it, but I think you're pretty tall so it might not be a problem. But so once you have that thing turned all the way to the side, then you take that cable, make sure it's not looped on anything, feed it through, and feed it through this hole. You probably already did that from the previous stuff. And then after it's through this hole here, you're going to bring it back through here, and you're just going to measure, you know, where you want it and mark it so that you want to put your clip on it at the right spot. So you can put your clip a little bit further up or back. It doesn't really make much difference as long as it clears this when it's all the way back. But then mark it on both wires, and then you're going to want to give yourself some room to work with. So you're going to come back here, turn this straight again. Now you can pull this out again a little bit and give yourself some room to work with this. All right, so once you pull this through a little bit, give yourself some slack. Sorry, you're not showing anything. So pull this through, give yourself some slack, but you've got it marked. Put it together and crimp that thing on. So this is again one of those little figure 8 crimper things. And then once you do that, once that one's good, then you're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to push this one all the way back. And you can see I kind of made this one super tight. It works fine, but put that one all the way back. Turn it till it's taut. Alright, so you're going to turn this again until it's about the same, going straight sideways or whatever you can get. And then you're going to loop it through, and you're going to mark it on the wire. You'll have to cut some wire off, obviously. So you're going to have a big long line of this stuff. So you're going to loop it all the way through. You're going to pull it back. You're going to mark it, and you're going to crimp off, cut off a part here. And then once you're good there, you're going to go ahead and straighten it back out. Sorry if I'm not doing a good job there. You're going to give yourself some slack here. Pull this thing through. And crimp that on. Okay? So I don't know if that's clear, but basically all you're trying to do is you're trying to give yourself, you know, full range of motion, right? So you push these things back, turn that thing so you're sideways, so you know how long that has to be in order to be able to let it go all the way. And then you do the same thing on the other side, just opposite. And then that'll get your steering working. So this one's a little loose for me. This side got a little loose for me. They're both a little loose. I don't know. I think I need to tighten some stuff down, but anyway, not important. Okay, so that's steering. So let's talk about power, okay, in the box. Okay. So first thing before I get into the box is you need to run your cable. I suggest, just to be, you know, for the first round until you decide how you want to do it, I would suggest putting your battery in the back here, not in the front, especially if you're running the car battery type, because the car battery type is super heavy and it pulls that front end down in the water and it lays low and it makes cutting through waves and stuff a lot harder, and you take on a lot more water. So I would not put it in. I took mine out of the front. I don't run it up front anymore. However, if you are going to do that, I use, as a backup, I have a compartment up front for a battery. And so what I did is I drilled this hole here, put this little guy on here. I would not put it here. If I had to do it again, I would drill that hole in this guy and put it here and run my wires from here up to the front hatch, if that's what you want to do. But anyway, all I did there, this is super simple. This has a red and a black wire in it. I connected that to, I think, some 8 gauge or 10 gauge, and I ran that through my hull up to the front. You can't see in here because I have these things, but in here I've just got a little tray. I do have a bucket, but there's no point for it because I can't get the top on it, so I wouldn't even do that. I would just put it in there again because the bottom of the battery can get wet without any problems. But so if you're going to run a big battery up front, that's that. Super simple. As long as you have the right, at least 10 or 12 gauge wire. I think I used 8 or 10. I'm not sure. But 12 would get you, you know, that's not that long of a distance, so you're probably not going to lose anything with going with 12. But anyway, depends on what you got. I would go with 10 just to be safe. It's super common. You can get it anywhere.